Welcome back, everybody. This is United vs. Everybody. I am your host, Sean, and today, obviously, is the weekly Kickabout, and I am joined by my co-host, Dylan. Dylan, how are we doing today, man?
Doing fantastic. I think a lot of
Fantastic.
people are going to know why today. So,
A lot of people are going to know why. If you guys are
oh yeah,
this, if this is your first time to the channel, this is your first time to the Kickabout because we do this every week, same time every week. It's pretty chill. We kind of look back at the last week, some of the major talking points, and then maybe during the season, as it falls midweek, we can maybe look ahead to the match of the weekend, like we'll do a little bit today. Obviously, we'll do the match preview a little later on this week, but pretty chill vibe as always. The channel itself is pretty chill vibe, but we're kicking around topics today. So we're going to dive in. We're talking Premier League Hall of Fame again. We're talking ruthlessness from Ineos and Amorim, and could it come back to bite Amorim later on in the window? We're going to talk a little transfer news, and we're going to take a look at United's next 5 fixtures because we got a tough run of matches coming up. So obviously I put a poll out there to see where you guys think we could get points-wise from these next 5 matches. Pretty tough matches. We got City, we got Chelsea, we got Liverpool, we got Brentford, we got Sunderland. I want to know what you guys think, how many points we're going to take. So get involved in that poll, and then we'll come back to that a little later on. So again, you guys know I like to give you chances to get involved in the content. So let's dive right in, you guys. Like the video, please subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are on the road to 3K as well, so we're getting super, super close. A lot of people really were vibing with the transfer window rating and the season prediction, Dylan. So we got a lot of new subs just from that. I've been a little more
sweet.
active on other channels as well in comments and chats, so I think maybe that might have had more people coming in, or just your beautiful face, the money as we call it here on the channel, is getting everybody in. But check that out, you guys, if you haven't yet done so. Check the memberships as well. I put a new emoji in there yesterday, so eagle-eyed members will have seen the new emoji. Go check it out. It's the Embuemo emoji, so always fun. And then, of course, check out the United vs. Everybody store. Get yourself one of these bad boys if you want. Little Fergie time mug. Have you guys seen that yet, up close and personal?
So
I'm,
awesome.
I'm a big fan of that one. And then GoGoalShop, like I said yesterday, is having a 2-day sale. So today and tomorrow, there's all these jerseys that are super, super cheap. This year's home, this year's away are both like 13, 14 bucks right now. So basically, it's a twofer. So this is this year's third. I got this on GoGoalShop. It is pretty lit. I'm not gonna lie. You can go get the other ones for super cheap. Go let them know, guys. So let's get stuck in. Starting first and foremost, a little bit of does it count as transfer news if they're not part of the club anymore? But we got a little news. It looks like you are on your way to Wolfsburg. You guys, we don't normally follow along with players once they're done with the club. Like I didn't really care when they left, but Dylan is representing. Ericsson is on his way. Let me make this a little bigger because I just want to. Honestly,
Spitting image.
can you tell the difference? Can anyone honestly tell the difference? Big up,
I
Bexy.
can't really.
I can't tell the difference. And honestly, this is not even Photoshop. It's just the way it looks. Bexy's voting 10-0 United. I like the
I love
positivity.
it. Hmm.
But yes, Dylan Christian Eriksen has joined Wolfsburg officially. So big up, everyone. Big up, Rob. Good to see you in the chat, man. Hope you're doing well. Yes, like, subscribe, everyone. Hope you guys have enjoyed this international. Dylan, how have you enjoyed the international break at all? Have you watched any of these friendlies? Yes,
No,
I call them friendlies.
no, I haven't watched any of them.
No, not nothing, huh?
No, I've looked at some news and some things like that, but nah. It's not club. It's not the club. It's not the World Cup either. So it's like or the Euros. I'm not super invested. So
Yeah, a friendly by any other name is my whole philosophy.
yeah.
And I think the more and more that we add teams to the World Cup and stuff, the less and less it's like the Hobbit trilogy. Like, did we really need a whole trilogy? It was a children's book. The original cartoon was like an hour long
Yeah.
back in like the 70s, which is much better anyway. Like, it's a money grab. It is what it is. Feeling that way a little bit more about Champions League and whatnot. That's why I don't really rate Champions League as highly as a Premier League. It's definitely not as tough as a run, in my opinion, but it is what it is, yeah. But once the World Cup rolls around this summer, which is even in itself kind of weird, right? That it's kind of spread
Hmm.
all throughout the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. Are you going to try to go to any of that at all?
No, too expensive. I'll watch it at home or whatever.
We're gonna have to do some watch parties or something,
Definitely.
because yeah, people in the UK and Europe sometimes complain about ticket hikes. Like the worst Major League Baseball team on like a midweek afternoon match or game is still going to be so much money compared to what the
Oh
local
yeah,
for a United match or something like 60 quid. You're talking like 100, 150 for some bull crap over here in the U.S., man. And even like get down to like college sports. You go to a U of M game, you're tailgate. Some people don't. They don't go to the
they just
match.
go
They just
tailgate. Yep.
go and tailgate and just drink. Everybody knows somebody who's got a house or whatever around there down the block or something. Everyone just chills and hangs out, or they just wreck that golf course and hang out. But it's interesting stuff
Mm-hmm.
though. And I haven't even looked because it's still qualifying, I guess, right now. I haven't even
Yeah.
seen who's qualified or anything, so I couldn't. I know Morocco maybe was the first team that did, but that's about it.
Big
Rob,
up Cape Verde. They're trying to make it.
oh yeah, I don't see. I don't even know. Now we're getting into some crazy countries that are just wrong. It's like going to be like just let them all in, basically. Um, that's insane, man. Rob says Wales lost 1-0 to Canada, who looked decent, but we played several new players. Yeah, some I've heard on the radio yesterday, or maybe it was today, people complaining about Pochettino experimenting a little bit or playing a certain way, and I'm like, we've already qualified. Like, where's the host nation? Like, these are
Mm-hmm.
these are kind of dead rubbers, right? I mean, it doesn't really make too much of a difference. So, but people are gonna complain. So what you gonna do? Moving on. Got a little bit of reminder that as difficult as it might feel sometimes to keep the red flag flying high as a United fan, it's nowhere difficult as this certain red. Dylan sent me this morning. What's the context here, Dylan? Help me out here.
So I was just scrolling Instagram and I follow a bunch of different Red Devils fan sites, and this came up. I don't remember exactly which one. It was Center Devils or Stretch or one of the other ones, but yeah, got Hong Kong Reds led by Raj Garang here. You had some people sign the flag, climbed up Mount Everest, flew the United flag up on the highest point of the world. So let's be real here. It's literally the we are literally the top club in the world.
I
Literally the top
mean,
club in the world with that.
we
So
are we already
just
were,
saying.
but hey,
Yes, but this is just
now
more confirmation. And I
now it's
thought it would be good. I thought it would be good to share that we are literally the top right now. So
it's I mean it's scientific now. It's just
yeah.
it is what it is, and you can't fight it. So it is.
Hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, meanwhile, a helicopter floats down from above with somebody with a Man City flag and a brown envelope sticking out of his coat pocket, um,
Yeah.
dripping with oil, leaving a trail of oil everywhere. That's how they roll. Rob says
Hmm.
expansion World Cup is the largest in tournament's history. 48 teams will be divided into 12 groups. It's
Yep.
fucking crazy, man. That's too
It's
much.
there's way too many.
That's too much football.
Yeah.
Like it's too much, man. Like players can just refuse. If I'm a player, I'm just flat out refusing. I'm like, you know what, I'm good. I don't want to do that. Let me take the summer off, man. Let me go chill for a couple weeks, and then I'll eat right, I'll train right. I'll go for
Yeah.
runs and stuff. But I'm chilling. Like this is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I'm surprised that doesn't happen more with like the friendlies. Like especially the non like right after the World Cup when they have those friendlies. I'm like,
Yeah, that was
I
that
wouldn't
post
be.
right. We had a
Yeah.
postseason, we had a preseason too. It was
Yeah.
so weird, man. It's messed up. Big up, Danny. Good to see you,
Yeah.
man.
What's up, Danny? What's up, Rob?
Danny, you missed the big news earlier. I'll put it back on the screen for you. You missed the big news. Erickson on his way to
And, it,
Wolfsburg.
and if you forgot, that is my German team. So this is I've been ever since I got out of work and can really process it. This I've been like on cloud nine right now.
That's insane. Yeah, Wolfsburg have been pretty. You and I were texting earlier. They've got a lot of
Mhm.
players
Oh
over
yeah.
the years that are really well. I mean, we've scouted a couple of them here on the channel
Hmm.
from like Koulirakis and Amora. Riddle Baku was one I
Baku.
scouted several years ago when he was at Wolfsburg. You
Yeah.
were talking
I
about
really
Max
wanted.
Arnold.
Yeah, I really wanted Baku when he was on the market to come to United. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, he'd fit perfectly.
he was a good right
So
back. I think that he is. How does he have the scarf? He just signed for him, Danny. Like
yeah,
you get
dude.
a whole free goodie bag when you sign for a club, dude. He's got like coasters and mouse pads and stuff. You know the
Hmm.
stuff that you used to get on Zazzle when it was half off.
New
Um,
Volkswagen in the yard, dude. Come on.
there you go. He's got himself a Golf or something out there. What is it?
No,
Van they have now?
exactly. No, actually, I bought some Wolfsburg gear, so this was one of them things I bought. Actually, this might have no, this didn't come free. So, or did
I had
it?
a right. Just saying. Have you ever seen Erickson and Dillon in the same room at the same time?
Exactly.
Just saying. I had a professor once in grad school. I was a big United fan, right? Like that's how he famously like intimidated everybody. Nobody felt like they could ever talk to this guy. I walked in one day wearing a Giggs jersey, and he and I just like clicked like that. It was like that hard shell broke, and
Oh
that
yeah.
gooey center came out, and he and I just we vibed, dude. It was hilarious. But he would teach throughout the world. So he would go to like Germany and whatnot all the time, but he would always go to like local like Bundesliga
Hmm.
matches when he was there. He would come back with like Werder Bremen stuff and like Mainz stuff and Cologne stuff. It was awesome.
That's
It was
awesome.
excellent.
Yeah.
So big up Erickson, big up this guy Raj Gurung for climbing Mount Everest with the United flag. And there's nobody he could literally say he kept the red flag flying highest.
Hmm.
What an absolute boss. Gosh, that's funny. I can't even imagine doing that. I can't even. I hate sometimes even just looking at my staircase. I'm like, ugh, I gotta walk up the stairs. I'm tired. This asshole making me feel like the laziest piece of shit in the world. Nice job, Raj Gurang. Now I'm not happy
Hmm.
with you anymore. All right. Oh, you just killed my spirit. My inner child is dead. Thank you for sharing that with me this morning, Dylan. Let's talk about the Premier League.
No,
What do you say?
I said no problem. I'm
Yeah,
here
that,
to help.
yeah, that's how you plot your takeover. You wait
Yep.
till the power goes out, and then you try to crush my spirit. You're like
Yeah.
a freaking reading some Machiavelli or something, man. Um, what are your thoughts on the Premier League Hall of Fame nominees for this? What do you first of all? What do you think of just the Hall of Fame so far? What do you think of this list of nominees, and then who would your two picks be? Because apparently you get two.
Yeah. The nominees are good. I like who they've chosen for that. You know, good points all around. I already voted.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, I vote. I think if I remember right, I put Neville and Carrick as my
mm.
picks. So
I voted Neville and Vidic.
oh no, Vidic. I forgot Vidic was on there. Sorry,
Yeah.
I put Carrick and Vidic. I put Carrick and Vidic. So, but I'm biased. I loved Carrick when I was watching him.
Oh yeah.
Just we've talked how good he was several times on this channel, and I just he for me he was like first. As soon as I saw him, I was like, "Yep, Carrick." So.
I feel like he's the quintessential like holding mid. Like I've always
Hmm.
said that you can tell when a holding mid is good or when they're having it really like when you don't hear about them that much during a
Yep.
match. Like they just keep things ticking. They do what they need to do. They seem to pop up in the right place at the right
Yep.
time. They get their team out of trouble. They're always
Yep.
there. And Carrick just he was so calm, so composed. I mean, in like
Hmm.
personally, he was not a very self confident guy. Like his autobiography behind me, he talks about that a lot. Fergie really had to like push him to find some belief. But yeah, Carrick was so classy. Adam Wharton's probably the closest thing I've seen to
Yeah.
Carrick in a long time. I don't get the Cesc
But
Fabregas thing. I don't feel like his. I feel like when he was in the Prem, he was young when he was
yeah,
with Arsenal, and then he was fine when he came back. But I feel like his best years were probably when he was at Barcelona. To be honest,
that's how I felt too.
I don't know.
Can I also just say that if Vidic doesn't get in on this after winning Premier League Player of the Year twice, then this is an absolute crime.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I went on a rant the other day, Rob, about gigs. Like I don't even want to. You guys know it'll get me angry again if I talk about gigs again. The freaking Premier League is an absolute spineless bunch of twats, man. Um, I don't get how anybody from City's in there since they've literally only been around for about half the time the Premier League has been a thing. Early '90s Premier League iteration,
yeah,
but I think that's what this is based on anyway. So
yeah,
I don't get that personally, but maybe that's just my bias. Michael Owen, I don't get Michael Owen being there. I think he's literally living off what he did as a teenager, getting a Ballon d'Or, and that's it. Um, I'd put Jermaine Defoe in there before I put Michael Owen for sure.
hmm
Jermaine Defoe, I think, is so under. Les Ferdinand. Les Ferdinand's a funny
Les
guy, by the
Ferdinand.
way.
Yeah, he'd be a good one. I like Les Ferdinand.
Um, let's see. You guys are talking about boxing. I can't. I've never gotten into boxing. Like I've watched. I watched you. I used to watch UFC more. I've never really gotten into boxing though. But I've watched boxing highlights online. I think there's this channel I watch where the guy just kind of watches fights and stuff and just comments. That's pretty funny. So you voted Neville Vidic. Anybody in there that you're
Carrick
surprised?
Vidic.
Oh, sorry, Carrick Vidic. I don't see. I mean, yeah. The Fabregas is probably the only one that's surprising, but it
Yeah.
is what it. Giggsy not being in
Yeah.
there at all is an
Yeah.
absolute joke. So
Yeah, I wouldn't really say anybody else besides Fabregas is too. Maybe Torre a little bit, just
Evra
because.
maybe.
Yeah, I mean we're biased, so we of course we put Ever in there, but
But I mean, how many left backs like class left backs on since the Premier League has been a thing, right? For what now,
yeah,
30 years? How many
yeah.
class left backs have there been? Um, who can we think of? So Irwin probably got in there
I was gonna
early.
say Dennis Irwin.
Ashley Cole
Yep.
easily, and then like who else would maybe go in that class like left back thing?
So was it maybe Zinchenko?
Nah,
I
I
was
would
like,
be
he's the only other one I can remember hearing about. So
Evra. I mean, Evra is probably like that. They're just going through the
besides
list,
Ever,
right? It's like they
yeah,
it's like they Googled like top 10 left backs in Premier League, and they're just going down the list. And
that's
there's
probably what they did.
there's not many. I'm trying to think of like some of the great teams over the years, and I'm just like we haven't like when we've had left backs, we've had them for a long time, kind of like
Hmm.
keepers. And so it's just I'm trying to think of the great Premier League teams over the years, and I can't think of people who've had like a solid left back. So it's interesting stuff. Interesting. What you guys are talking about boxing. I appreciate you guys are here. You guys can talk about boxing all you want, but we're going to be here. Let me get this off the screen. What do you think of this new international break format? Did you see these changes that are popping up starting next year, I believe? Have you seen
Mm-mm,
that?
mm-mm.
So we're gonna have fewer international breaks during the season. So, but there's the first one. So the one that we're currently in, this one next year will be a week longer. So fewer breaks, but this first one will be 3 weeks instead of just two. Um, so just that's the biggest change, really. I
I,
it is. I mean, what I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I can't say I don't like the disruptions with the international break, so I think fewer would be better.
Yeah.
Um, it's just going to be longer, so that's going to be something to get used to. But
I
we'll
don't
we'll
like how
see.
early the first one is. Like, I don't like
No.
that you come in, you play a couple league games, maybe a League Cup game. Like, if we didn't finish so badly last year, we wouldn't even had to play a Carabao Cup game yet. But
Yeah.
like, so all ends face 3 Premier League games, and then it's boom, see you in a couple weeks, and I'm like, what? Some of these players we just signed, like they haven't even had time
Hmm.
to really bet in yet. I mean, Lamin's just had his first training this Monday, which is apparently news, by the way. I'm like, ooh. In other news, player trains with his club. Okay, cool. Um, I just don't like how early it is. And
No.
I didn't like. It always seems like we get a bit of momentum, we get a good result, a good performance, and then like it happened last year around like
Yeah.
March or something.
Yep.
We're like, okay, we had a good couple performances, a good run, and then not like we won two in a row. We don't do that, but and then boom, it gets disrupted. Momentum. It's just the momentum
Yep.
killer, and I'm just not happy with it.
Yeah.
I think too, like with all the manager sackings, I feel like it's just we've seen it this season already. Like four high profile managers gone in the first couple weeks of the league, the season. It's just
Hmm.
I feel like the international break sometimes treated as that opportunity for clubs. So it's really weird. I don't get it, man. Rob says Marmouche badly injured
Yeah.
during the
That was
break.
a bad one.
Yes, we're gonna be talking about a lot of that in the match preview later on this week because City are not rolling as deep. Although I'm surprised they didn't just appeal to get an extra transfer window because then Barcelona did it. There's precedence. You might as well do it. Rob says Nations League won't be denied. It's God, yeah. Like I said, a friendly by any other name, guys. Still friendly. Not happy with that, but
No.
yeah, that just I feel like all this international nonsense, man. Like to me, the fact that you've got to change it so much tells me like it's not good. Like it's just
No.
not good. It's like when they had to change all the handballs and the offside and the VAR and then became subjective this and clear and obvious that. And I'm like, what does that tell you? It tells you that you're trying to meddle too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the roads in Michigan. Do it right the first time. We won't have to redo them every single year.
That's
Right?
too logical, Sean. It's too logical. That won't happen.
Yeah, that won't happen. Ugh. Yeah, for those of you who've never been to Michigan, it is the worst state for roads. They are
Mm-hmm.
literally all of the major highways basically down to like one lane right now because it's how we roll, you know.
I hate it so
Oh,
much.
mitten state, my ass, man. The mitten state, it should just be a middle finger. Like, just make the mitten a middle finger. That's basically what it's doing to the rest of us. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, all right, let's talk about a little bit of this Clearout situation. You guys, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you get involved in the poll. I want to know what you guys think about this match, which one of matches. So, big Clearout this summer, right? And starting with Onana, it was 2 years overdue. But waiting until the final days of the transfer window, to address that goalkeeping situation was a bit of a ballsy move, honestly. It was just, I don't know what the plan was. Did they get an inkling that Onana was maybe open, like there was a club interested, and that's why they did it, or were they just going to roll with four keepers? I don't know. Onana probably expedited that decision by reportedly coming back from preseason a little bit out of shape, asking for a new contract. Don't quite get that. Or maybe someone on the board just woke up one day and realized, oh wait, this guy's shit. We need to get rid. I don't know. Either way, it's a big call, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I didn't believe the report when they said, yeah, he asked for a contract or a,
Yeah,
improved contract. I'm like, we're not in the Champions League. You're basically directly responsible for several of these reasons why we're not. Like,
yeah.
dude,
The report
come
was
on.
like, oh, he's down. The wages are down because of no Champions League. It's like you have literally been the reason we're not. You're largely at fault for the goal we conceded in the Europa League final. You're literally the
Yep.
blame for why we didn't like get out of the group stage 2 years ago, which we're going to talk about a little later on as well.
Yep.
It's just, I mean, again, ballsy move. But then to get rid of him, to move him on, to be
Hmm.
ruthless, to not really. I mean, it is a loan. There's no obligation. There's no option. It's a straight up loan. They're paying a lot of all of his wages basically. I've read that he's getting paid more there than he was here. We're saving almost 4 million, which is fine. I like it.
Perfect.
It's the latest big kind of ruthless call in a sequence of calls. So it started with Rashford and Garnacho ahead of the Derby way back in December. Obviously, they were both dropped for that one. That was barely a month into Amorim's tenure at United manager, which to me, like Alejandro Garnacho's got a history of not making a good first impression. Rashford, if his attitude was that noticeable for a manager to come in and leave him out a month, like that to me says something.
Hmm.
He benched Ugarte for the last few matches last season, including the Europa League final, which I wasn't happy about. But Ugarte was obviously Ineos' big money signing last summer, which basically was the reason McTominay was kind of shipped off, right, to get money for Ugarte. And now Ugarte is not getting minutes under Amorim, which is interesting. Preseason, we caught glimpses then of Amorim's complete lack of faith in Rasmus Højlund playing with a false nine. Højlund on the bench. We have a result. Can't
Yeah.
remember what the result was. Amorim basically says, well, when you don't have a nine on the pitch to be the focal point, that's going to happen. And I'm like, bro, he's literally on the bench. What are you trying to tell us here? That to me felt like a message to the board. It's interesting stuff. What is your take on all those decisions so far before we keep going on this?
I feel bad about the Rasmus one. You know, I've talked about that before. Like he loved the club. He put forth his best effort. I mean, it just didn't happen. So I hope he kicks on at Napoli. I mean, he scored in over the international break here. So kudos to him. The other ones, fine. And you could Garnacho especially, you can tell he wasn't his attitude was not what we needed to have. It was all about him, diva mentality. Okay. And you can deal with that when they're putting it forth towards the team, but he wasn't doing that. Like
Yeah,
you could just tell how he was projecting himself and everything like that. I think Rashford got beaten down over time and then kind of had that diva behavior set in just as time went on, as they lost those leaders and things like that. So good on Amarin again to clear that out. I have no problem with being strong minded, and clearing out the people that are not going to be up to snuff. I'm fine with struggling for a little bit to get everything set as long as everyone knows, hey, it's a long term project. It's not going to be over time. I think all of us like dedicated fans are going to be fine with, hey, it's going to be a while, but do we see improvement? Great. Do we see that the team is cohesing and gelling together? Fantastic. We know the points are going to come eventually.
Yeah.
We have to have the right mindset. And I think being that's something we haven't had with that level of ruthlessness. We
Mhm.
needed that. Ragnick tried, they pushed him out. Now we got a board that's going to back him.
Jose tried. He tried to get rid of a lot of players. They didn't let him.
Hmm. Yep.
Ollie had some issues with some of the players who Ten Hag had issues as well. I think that we're starting to see the player power kind of decrease a little bit, where I have a board that doesn't quite value the quote unquote shirt sellers,
Hmm.
and really pushes like make sure everybody's rowing in the same direction. And
Yep.
it's been interesting. I mean, this is an often overlooked facet of a proper rebuild, right? You've got to clear the dressing room, not only of just maybe the lack of quality, but again, like you're saying, the cleared of the personalities and the mentalities that aren't aligned with the direction that you're going in. You can only if everybody in the boat's not rowing the same direction, you're not going anywhere. And it's again, it's not just about players, the quality, whatever. It's what they can do on the ball. It's about sharing that vision, motivating others, leadership. I want
Hmm.
11 leaders on the pitch, no matter what that looks like. And I think that we've seen that from Ineos. A lot of the players that
Yeah.
Ineos have signed, even the ones last summer, have that mentality, have that fight to them, have that drive. They may not always, not all of them are like top class. Like I wouldn't call Ugarte top class, but they're all talented and they fight. Like even Dorgu covers every blade of grass. I mean, look at who we signed this summer as well. These guys are fighters. Cunha is a fighter. The guy gets it
Oh yeah.
100%. And that to me has been the noticeable trait in terms of just the intangible kind of characteristics that I think that we're trying to fill that dressing room with. People who hold themselves accountable, people who will hold each other accountable, people who will pull and push whatever it takes to get everyone over the line. If I got to put you on my back like Samwise Gamgee or something, we're getting over that line. That's how we're going to do it. Players who fight for each other,
Hmm.
and that's important. And clearly, with all that in mind, you look at the players that we spent all summer trying to get rid of. I mean, what's the clear thing that a lot of those players are lacking? Now, I don't go too hard on Anthony Malacia, but like the problem three are a bit self-centered. They lack a bit of self-awareness. They lack humility. They lack a little bit of altruism in terms of just fighting for the greater
Yep.
good, and they're a little bit weak, in my opinion, a little bit self-conscious in that they are trying to make sure, whether it's social media or interviews, that no, I want to make sure nobody thinks this is my fault. I want to make sure everyone knows that
Yep.
I'm not the problem. This was deflection. This is blaming. This is finger pointing. It's cowardly, weak behavior,
Hmm.
and I'm not standing for it anymore. But and Onana's right there. He may not. I don't have anything personal against Onana. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's got a very strong mentality. He's not assertive. I think he's weak mentally, and it shows. And I think it shows.
Well, and just to add to that, I mean, I don't know about you, but after that first preseason friendly, I was nervous
Yeah.
when he let that half pitch one in. It was like, okay,
Uh,
that's not the way you want to start this. And he looked like shocked, like that happened. I'm like, dude, come on, you're a professional, dude. Like,
yeah. I guarantee
um,
you, if we were a different club at that point, like if that was like Brentford or something that he was playing for and that happened, I don't. I think a part of it is the pressure of the club,
oh
the
yeah.
and not just the weight of the badge. I think it's just the media coverage. If that were Brentford, nobody
Mhm.
would care. No one would talk about it at all, and he would have forgotten about it like 2 days later, right? Especially in the preseason. But because it's
Oh yeah.
United, Sky will run with it for a week. Talksport will spend 2 days on it. The media will blow it up all over the place, and it's just this deluge, this avalanche of just spotlight, negativity, pressure cooker, all of it, and you can't ever escape that. And that's what I mean about mentality. You have to have players who are able to deal with that, and that doesn't
Hmm.
just mean like I'm Superman. It doesn't bother me. It means like find ways to cope, and if you don't have those ways, find ways to get those ways to cope. Talk to people,
Yep.
reach out, like talk to your family, talk to your teammates, talk whatever you got to do. Just ask people, talk to former players. Gary Neville, Rio. How did you guys cope with that? Like, what did you guys do? Like,
Hmm.
these guys are resources. I know people don't like old players hanging around the club. I think I've seen a lot of outcry in the last couple of years, especially like these old players need to get out of here. but they can be a
See,
resource. Go
yeah.
ahead, man.
I was going to say, for me, you want those older players around because they provide, in situations like this, they provide some guidance and
Yeah.
give you a little what for. Like, can you imagine, Roy Keane walking in there
I
and
mean,
telling these guys, like, they wouldn't be able to handle it,
I
but
don't
he'd
think
tell them
Roy Keane would
exactly
be the
what,
most constructive
yeah.
of speakers.
Oh, God, no. They couldn't handle it. But, like, I watch old interviews with the players that played with him, and he's like, he was the best motivator for us because he put everything out on the pitch. And it's like, come on, guys, like, you need that. Just
I
so
think
having
part of
some
it
of those older guys would be nice, just for a little bit. But
I think part of it too is just I question the commitment and the priorities of some of these modern players, in terms of how important to you is football. You've
hmm
got social media presence, which is fine. Kids have social media, but I feel like sometimes the brand is becoming more important than the badge, and it's just I don't. And maybe you can argue maybe it started with Beckham. Maybe that was kind of the big turning point. I don't know. Everyone's got an opinion, but I'm just not. I don't need ex players to like come into the dressing room and give talks. We don't need all that. That's fine. We don't need them doing that. But like, be available. Like, there should be no reason that like Onana shouldn't be able to like text De Gea or something or WhatsApp and be like, "Hey man, like
yeah,
you were here for
yeah.
12 years, dude. How did you cope with this when you made a mistake? Because De Gea made a few. Like, it's
Oh
not
yeah.
like he was an angel. Um, it's
But yeah, just one thing to say with Beckham, real quick. I mean, you probably watched the documentary he had there, and some of the
um,
other things I've read about on
which one?
Netflix,
Oh,
maybe.
I don't have Netflix.
Oh, never mind.
I only get it when
But
Stranger Things pops up again. So
gotcha, coming out soon. Um, but everybody said even when he was having those struggles, especially at Real Madrid, consummate professional. He showed up early. He did whatever was needed of him. I mean, we didn't see Garnacho doing that. We didn't see Rashford doing any of that. We didn't see Sancho doing that.
Garnacho
So
went online and wore a Rashford jersey at Villa and
yeah,
started to post that. Like,
yeah. I'm
asshole.
just like,
Oh boy, what
yeah,
a complete
it's
asshole.
yeah, 100%. And that's I don't know if did you see that post about from Garnacho that said first training session really took it out of me,
I'm
and
sure
all the
because he'd not done anything ever. Like,
that yeah the all the commenters were like, yeah, you haven't played in 9 months or 4 months or whatever and been vaping every day. Like, yeah, of course it's going to be hard.
that's exactly what's going to happen. It's
Yeah.
of course it's hard. Oh, Danny says cowardly spoiled brat syndrome. Big
hmm
words. Rob says Rashford got too comfortable, needed a new challenge to reignite his career. Well, his challenge could have been maybe I'll challenge myself to do better. That's sometimes a challenge. Rob says do your job.
That's
Nothing
right.
wrong with
Do
that. I
your
like
job.
that.
That's his job.
Matt Hatter, welcome back. He says hot
What's
take,
up?
but I feel Sir Alex' presence adds undue pressure as well. Most former managers don't attend majority of games. I see Dalglish at a lot of matches. I think I don't. I personally don't have a problem with it. If a manager is sitting in the stands is enough to rock the confidence and the focus of players, and I think that's to me a bigger worry
hmm
than somebody just showing up in the stands. I don't have a problem with it. The owners are usually there. Everybody, the people who actually make the decisions are there every single
Oh
time.
yeah.
Fergie doesn't have any say so. He's just there. And if anybody in football has earned the right to be able to do that, it's going to be Sir Alex Ferguson, in my opinion. Like, he should just be able to go anywhere. He should get free drinks, free meals wherever he goes in Manchester, like for everything that he's done
He
and everything
probably
he's done.
does.
If we saw him, I'd give him a free. I wish if I wasn't on the tram when I saw David Gill and his wife when we were at like a restaurant or something, I would have paid for his food because I did see David Gill and his wife on the tram when Justin and I were getting back to the airport. But it's trams are they're shaky. It's hard to walk, and I don't want to look like I'm an idiot, so I didn't want to walk over there.
See, you don't want to do that. I look like it all the time in class, so it'd be fine. It's
Right, trams,
yeah.
yeah, the trams could be a little rough. Rob says when Keno gigs were playing, they had Bobby Charlton around the club. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Sir Bobby's been here for a long time. Dennis Law's been here for a long time. They were always up in the stands as well. I don't
Mhm.
personally have a problem with it. I want the players to be reminded of greatness. I want the players to be reminded of what this club is. I don't want to keep looking at it as like, oh, we used to be great. Like, we are great. get.
Hmm.
Let's remember that. Like let's like take that as a challenge. Let's find some sort of intrinsic motivation to just reach levels that maybe we didn't even know we had. That's a big part of just mentality. I just talked
Hmm.
about that this week in a couple of my classes as well. Big up, Kai. Good to
What's
see
up,
you,
Kai?
my friend. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's and then again we get getting that mentality. I think that guys like Cunha, guys like Mbumo, are big helps to that. Delit, Mazraoui. I love Lamens. I love the talk about
Hmm.
everybody who knows him and who's worked with him has been around him. Whether it's our former guy who used to work with Antwerp, I forgot his name. Daniel will remind me. He used to be the guy in charge at Antwerp, but he would facilitate a lot of our loans and stuff. He had nothing but praise for him. A lot of people just think he's just really good. Of course, you got the naysayers coming out here and saying like, "I wonder if he's going to do good. He's this young keeper. I've never heard of him." Like, since when is ignorance a like an argument? Like, I've never heard of this guy. Okay, cool. So what you're saying going into this conversation is you have no idea what you're talking about. That's all you had to say. You're starting the conversation that way. Like, I never understand that. I used to get pelters online and message boards for talking about players like I do on the scouting reports, and people were like, "Oh, you're recommending like some player from like the Latvian second tier." I'm like, it's like, is you telling me that me having knowledge is some sort of a detriment? I'm like, cool, awesome, good job, man. It is what it is, dude. Danny says, in our worst seasons, we still won an FA Cup and got to Europa League final. In our worst seasons,
Yep.
we got an FA Cup, a Carabao Cup, Europa League final. We got to an FA Cup final. In our worst, we've done better than Arsenal have at their currently their best under Arteta. Like, it is what it is, man. Y'all never forget. So, um, on Onana though, did you have anything else to add to that?
Nope.
Yeah. So on Onana, what do you make of all this media nonsense? Painting him as this some sort of this victim, as like this saying he's been made a scapegoat and stuff. Basically, the media changing the narrative and blaming all of Onana's struggles on United. It's our fault, the club's fault that Onana struggled and now he's leaving. Like, what do you make of that nonsense?
Let's be honest. United didn't necessarily set him up great. Like they had a lot of change in defense at times. Didn't necessarily have some stability up there at the midfield either. But you know,
Neither did De Gea,
it,
and he got Golden Glove the final year.
which is what I'm yeah, like your great goalkeepers, your great players rise to the occasion, and like we've been talking about, he just didn't. Positionally, he was weak, especially on set pieces. You can see he didn't do very well.
Okay,
Um,
that's an understatement.
his yeah, mentality wise, he did not have it. You could tell, like at times, he looked lost
Yeah.
about what he should be doing, and it kind of looked like he was brought in to distribute. It looked like that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to distribute and all this stuff, and you know what? Yes, a little bit. Yeah. So he didn't necessarily have the best run up, but nobody's scapegoating him. He just wasn't good enough. And if he
Yeah.
goes to Turkey and does great, good for him. But you know,
This is the thing
he,
though. It's like
yeah,
you like you said, like you didn't have like the right, like whatever the right conditions. Like, we're never gonna have the right
no,
conditions. No club ever is 100%
no.
just everything's good to go. Just like players are rarely 100% fit. There are certain players that I think need to reach a higher pain threshold. Maybe need to dig a little deeper, play through the pain. I've got to. My groin kills me every time I play. I got to push through it. Just it happens. I'm not a professional. It is what it is. Obviously, I'm not that
Mhm.
level. I'm not pushing myself that hard. But yeah, I mean, I like people fall down, people get hurt. It is what it is. You're never gonna the conditions are never gonna be 100% optimal. This isn't a laboratory. This isn't like homeostasis. It's just it is what it is. You've got to find a way to cope. But blaming United for his struggles is ridiculous. We're gonna do a little presentation here, you guys, because I want somebody to tell me how United is at fault for this. And I had to mute it so I don't get copyrighted. But we can watch this for a couple minutes and tell me how United is the problem for some of this nonsense. Like that one right there is the worst one I've ever seen. That Gibbs White goal. Like no one even like that's embarrassing. Is this
That was
anything?
bad. Through his
Gibbs White.
hands,
Yeah.
even the roof. Yeah, I can see the roof crying from that.
This is freaking this is so bad, dude. Like that is awful. It's just awful. Like what is this? We just watched
That
that
one,
yesterday.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Club legends.
Look at
Yeah,
that shit. Oh, how many times does that happen? Oh my god, look at that.
those
It
are the
literally,
ones that always
that's
frustrate
literally,
me.
hold on, I gotta go back. This one is
Yeah,
literally like he tried to score against us right here.
yeah,
He palms it. Oh my gosh.
yeah,
This one is embarrassing. Like, how many times is he gonna sit down?
yeah.
This was nonsense, right? This was so weird. Oh my god. This one right here, I was at this game. I was literally like, that was so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I
There's
remember that
another
one.
one. Is it the pill? This one right here. Like, what are you? Oh my, that pill's on. Ugh.
Yeah.
Like
Well, it was
what?
just like, what are you doing?
That was
Well,
so
and
embarrassing.
he had another one. So the reason I brought up Cape Verde was because with on international duty with Cameroon, he let in another goal that had Cape Verde win. And but the way it was positionally. He didn't come out to make the goal smaller. He stayed rooted on a spot, and then by the time he tried to come out, it was too late. And
Yeah,
so we saw that.
he's
We just looking at that highlight, we saw that. Like positionally, he just didn't quite know where to be.
no, because he's not comfortable with it, which is fine if that's
No,
not your thing. But I'm like, dude, like you can't play for United if you can't at
no,
least come off your line now and then. If you're not the one,
yeah,
like I don't like. I did indoor, and I was in net for like 45 minutes a few months back, and I'm literally like all over because I play outfield normally, so I'm comfortable on the ball, but I'm all over the box, like literally on the edge. I'm coming out and I'm wrestling for people to grab balls that are coming in the air and stuff. Like I'm coming off, I'm cutting down shooting angles and stuff. Like people are looking at me like, who the fuck is this dude? I'm not saying I was good, but I'm just it's stuff you don't expect to see from people who play co-ed indoor. But like I don't care if I get knocked around. Like I literally like this guy went up for the header, I went up for it, caught it, we both fell. Somehow I get awarded the free kick. I'm like, whatever, it is what it is. But I'm like, you can't like, and the dude is huge. He's like a freaking caveman. I'm like, who like why? Well, you're the only one you can use your hands. Just plow through everybody. As long as you get the ball, no one's gonna care. But that one we just saw against Grimsby in that highlight, dude, it's freaking embarrassing, man.
oh,
Um, ugh. Let's see. What are you guys talking about? Guy says I lost like 20 IQ points watching that
I
video.
I feel the same way, Kai.
Oh man, I feel like I lost 20 years of my life. You guys ever watch The Princess Bride? Everybody big
Hmm.
fans of Princess Bride. When he's hooked up to that machine that sucks away years of this, is how it feels watching United sometimes. Just crank it up and just like
Yep,
50 years done.
yep.
Fuyo, Uncle Roger, legends will know. Any final thoughts on this whole cull, this whole clearing the deadwood? Because we talk about players and how ruthless Amorim has been and how Ineos have backed him right in that ruthlessness. But I want to shift to manager as well. So any thoughts on the squad clear out?
I'm happy with it. I this is all stuff we talked about before it happened. Like this, we don't really want these guys around. I'm happy it got done.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just get them out there, reset the room, reset the team, get the right mindset in there, establish that early, and then we can build from there. So I'm very happy with it. You're not going to have those same issues in the locker room now. You've got a whole reset. People understand if you're not going to get on board, you're out. Okay, it's a little bit back to Sir Alex, just a bit, not the same amount of power, but I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, I don't mind the not having as much say over transfer targets. Like get an input, maybe
Hmm.
give like
Yeah.
a profile, like this is what I'm looking for, this is what I need, and let the experts kind of bring back some options and you see what you
Hmm.
do. Like I don't have a problem. That's how it should be done. Like nobody has we stuck to that model of just what do the manager want and then we'll try to get them. Now, obviously not all our managers have been backed, but the Ten Hag took it a little too far by getting players to join his agency and stuff. That to me was a little and then not wanting to
That
work with
was a
Ralph Ragnick
suspect.
was just
Yeah.
weird. Like you're
Yeah.
just like that could I wonder if Ten Hag almost took on too much in his like effort to just wrest control from all over everything.
Yeah. And
That's all
and I
this.
didn't like that just for the Ragnar thing, just because, you've seen what he's built
Yeah,
at other clubs. He knows what he's doing.
yeah. We talked
Like,
about that on the first episode of What
yeah.
If this season. You guys can go check that out if you want as well. Um, yeah, that was beginning of the end, I think, for Ten Hag, unfortunately. But on managers, though, in terms of ruthlessness, because we've seen Ineos, they're ruthless as well. Should Amorim be worried at all about his own job? Could he find himself next in line in the crosshairs when it comes to big decisions that need to be made if results don't start turning around a little bit? Do you think anything makes Amorim different than a Ten Hag or anything who Ineos backed and then sacked? Like, is there anything that would make Amorim different? Is there any or is he just in your eyes, or maybe what you think Ineos see is just he's just the same as Ten Hag? You could go tomorrow if things don't get improved. Like, what do you think?
So for Ineos, I think he's going to be safe with Ineos because they picked him. Like, they went to him to get it, and they forced his hand a little bit. He came to United in December or November. I can't remember when he didn't
November.
want to. He knew it was going to be a problem. Um, I don't think he's got anything to worry about right now. But if we go on a losing run, yeah, or we don't pick up points, or we get knocked out of the FA Cup real quick, he's got to worry a little bit, because even though the board's probably going to back him, um, dropping points, things like that, that's not.
Dude, if we get knocked out of the FA Cup first round of asking, he's gone. Like, for sure he's gone. That's probably our best shot at European football is the FA Cup, and that's only Europa League, or unless we're Crystal Palace, apparently. There's no way, because there's no way we're getting top four, right? We're not getting Champions League the old-fashioned way. Like, if he gets knocked out, he's got to go. Like, there's no excuses for that at that point, right? Um, Sorry, go ahead.
And, and especially, just piggyback on that, especially if we're at that point in the season and you can kind of see where we're going to be in the table, you got to prioritize the cup. He can't do what he did with the. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it several times about how he shouldn't even have to show up for that EFL Cup match, the League Cup
No,
match.
he shouldn't. He should have pulled a Jurgen
But
Klopp and just stayed home.
yeah, but he's got to go strong for that FA Cup. Doesn't matter who you're playing. Get that first 45 in, get the 4-0 lead, and then
I feel
sit.
like we have to go strong in both. This is probably our best
Yeah.
shot at
Oh yeah.
trying to get back to it. I mean, I think we could easily cut our league table finish in half. If
Hmm.
with the not having league, not being in Europe, City
Yep.
struggling. I think that the other teams who are finishing, who are doing better, like the Brentfords and the Bournemouths, they're going to struggle. I think that for the first time, I think that the the three teams that came up might not go down, and I think that
Hmm.
you could see this is an honest to god decent shot, and we've got fewer matches to work with now, without the League Cup, without Champions League or Europa League. We have to go strong in both, and to
Yep.
me, you treat the FA Cup when we get there like any other match. In my opinion, it's another match. The other teams got more to balance than we do. There are teams that by the time we get to the FA Cup, we could be playing people who are playing three matches a week at that point.
Yep.
There's no excuse. I do want to win the FA Cup, but at the same time, that's and I hear what you're saying. Because it is a way to get back into Europe and stuff, but to me, there's almost no excuse to not go strong in the league and in the FA Cup. There's just not an excuse anymore, unless you get like half a dozen injuries to your starting 11. There's no excuse. As we've seen, you can't even show up and be complacent against like someone from League Two, because you get
Hmm.
freaking spanked on your day, dude. I want to get caught up on the chat real quick. Rab says, "I wonder how many heart attacks have been caused by watching Onana blunders live." Yeah, I mean, they've got the players' tunnel can be kind of expanded and contracted to make room for ambulances and fire trucks, so they're available if anyone's there. Danny says, "We know why Ten Hag didn't work with Ralph, because he was scamming loads of money through his agency." Ooh, big words.
I mean, it did feel weird that, we should get this guy. He's from the same agency. I'm like, that doesn't
Yeah.
seem right.
It started, yeah. That's when it started to get shady for me. When he first got here, I'm
Yeah.
like, whatever. I like Ten Hag at Ajax. He was one of my favorite managers at that time. Didn't really go that way. Two finals though. I mean, two. I get to two finals. I don't have a problem with that. But yeah, it started to get a little iffy Rob says 10 games. I need to see where we're headed. Yeah, usually 10 games is about where people start to see. So what's that? What's 10 games going to be? League games.
It'll
What is
just be past the Liverpool game. 10th game will be
that?
like Forest, I think.
Rob, do you give him a little grace because of the literally statistically the most difficult start to the league of all the clubs with when it comes to the competition? Do you give him a little bit of grace, or do you just say
Nope.
fuck it? No.
10th game is Brighton. Great. 11th game is Forest. So
Yeah, I mean maybe they'll be over the new manager bounce by then, mate. But we'll see.
I
We
like
can't
you
give
threw
him
that
down.
mate in there.
Oh, if you didn't say that, the media wouldn't like him as much. They could not freaking the media, man. They're just it's. I mean, we talk about it all the time. I was listening to Sirius today because I went and got myself some Dave's hot chicken. Anyone who's ever had that, it's amazing. Um, they were sitting there like talking about Ange, and they're like, "Oh, they're getting their violins out. Oh, his injuries last year, like, if it wasn't for the injuries, like that was his fault. The way he plays and the way he pushes the players. You got Van de Ven who's dancing in Luke Shaw, Mason Mount territory, and you
Mm-hmm.
just continually play a high line. Like that's on you, bro." And it was kind of like Ollie. That was the only way he could play. And so yeah, it won the Europa League final, so I don't have room to talk. But at the same time, people figured it out. They were already rumbles. He was already arguing with fans. But one guy, God bless him, on Sirius was like, "There's a very real chance it could derail and he could get sacked this year already." Ange, it's
Oh
interesting.
yeah.
I said that about Mourinho yesterday. That I fully believe Mourinho could come to West Ham and still find a way to get sacked before the end of the season.
Oh yeah.
If anybody could do it, Mourinho could do it. He's
I
not
just
a manager anymore. He's just a severance
no.
collector.
Yeah. I just want to hear him say, "I have 3 premierships."
Three, three, respect, respect. I think I'm the special one. Mad Hatter says it's crazy to think we only have 2 competitions this season and it's only September. It is crazy. If it's
Uh-huh.
just, but hey, this is United. This is why we love the club, man. We're here for the emotions, man. We go through all the emojis at this club. That's how we roll. Remember in the old days we had to buy packs of emojis. You had to download them. That was
Mm-hmm.
messed up. Danny says, giving him until after January window when he's fully backed. Yeah, we'll get when it gets to be around Christmas. I've got a potential video planned. Obviously, I've got to stay prepared. You never know what's going to happen, but we'll see what happens. um, Danny says Valentine's Day, my breaking point, like in life or in football, because I mean, if you want to talk, man, we can talk. um, is that I think that's statistically like the highest number of like suicide rates. I think is the Valentine's Day. Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah.
Guys, don't just come talk to somebody. Valentine's Day, I mean, I don't really do holidays as it is. Valentine's Day always seemed a weird one to me, but it is a Hallmark holiday for me. Is Hallmark still a thing? That they still have Hallmark stores?
Oh yeah.
Never again. That's like it's one of those things along with like candles. I'm like, that just seems like such a waste of money. Like I tell my parents, my mom is a big like card. I'm like, don't buy cars. They're expensive. And then I like she used to get mad when I didn't like keep them, and I'm like, what do you want me to do with this? Frame it? Like
Yes, she wants a room just of framed cards.
a
You can
room.
take it off the wall in 20 years.
It's only me and my wife and I, but we bought a 5 bedroom house because I needed an extra room for all these cards.
Yes,
I'm like, I appreciate the thought. I don't like people spending money on me, so it
I
just
get
is what
that.
it is. Like, bake me a cake if you want. I'll destroy a German
Food
chocolate
is
cake, mom. But
always acceptable.
yeah, always. Yeah, if you give me diabetes, that's all I really want is diabetes. Give me the cake. Oh, Rob says Forest or 10th. Will they finish higher or lower than that under Ange? It's interesting. What do you think?
I'm interested to see how much things change because it's going to be a different mentality there with Nuno gone. And I do think
High line, right?
you know, I think part of why they lost, was it to West Ham, was because of all the stress around Nuno. They'll probably play a little better coming out with the new manager bounce, but I don't know if the team is set up to play the way Ange wants to play.
Didn't stop him before.
Uh,
He doesn't have Elanga. Did they replace Elanga with anybody? I'm trying to remember who Forest bought.
yeah, Ndoye,
Oh, do they get Van
yeah,
Doy
or
from?
does he go to Everton? Hold on.
Hold on. No, that's in. You're thinking of Indai.
And die.
Um,
Okay.
Nottingham. I'm gonna look up Nottingham Forest signings. Interesting. So where? So do you think that they'll finish worse or better than where they are now?
Yeah,
Forest.
and Doy plays for Forest. So,
So they got
um,
Hutchinson, they got Ndoye, Callum James McAtee. It's a big shout there. They
McAtee.
got that. They got that keeper that we were linked to, John Victor. Douglas Luiz, they brought in on loan, pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
They brought in Zinchenko on as a free transfer. Douglas Luiz is a big shout for them. I think McAtee will be pretty good. Hutchinson, I like Luka Hutchinson a lot.
I think they'll probably. I think they're 10th. They'll probably be 8th or 9th,
Danny
right
thinks they'll
around.
struggle because
Yeah.
they're in Europe this year. Yeah, they don't really have a deep squad. So when it comes to prioritizing, that might be something that Forrest might have to look at as well. Um,
Well, but they probably want to get. They probably want to get to Europe for next year too, so they can give Ange, if he sticks around that second season.
well, we could see a whole nother process starting at Forest now that Edu's there. I mean, it's just weird to me that
Hmm.
Forest backed Edu over Nuno and stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, it is what it is, but it's. I mean, we saw that with Ashworth as well. You know, except with us, it was the opposite direction. We sacked Ashworth, kept the other stuff, and this time they did the reverse. So
Yep.
it's really weird. Then he says Kevin went to Fulham. Watch him light up the print. Interesting. Yeah, a lot of good Brazilians. We got I got another
Hmm.
scouting report special locked and loaded for you guys as well. A couple of players who are rocking up in Brazil. So about 6 or 7. Putting that together today. It's just been a busy day, so I haven't had a ton of time, but keep a lookout for that one. But yeah, I think Forest will struggle this year. I think they'll look at this year as a bit of a rebuild year, and I think that they'll make a strong push. But obviously, it's like one of those things you can't. If realistically, I don't think anyone at Forest is looking at Europe like, yeah, we can win this. We're gonna win this, right? So probably strong push for mid-table, probably decent showing in Europe. At least I think their goal should definitely be at least to make it out of the group phase,
Oh yeah, I think
or
they
the
will.
league phase, I guess it's called now.
Yeah.
And then see what they can do then, because that's they're going to get a lot of money anyway for being that's 8 matches,
Oh yeah.
so it's a decent run. So, um, but what do you getting back to Amram? Do you think that he's any different than someone like Ten Hag? Do you think that he can go just as quickly? How long would you give him?
Me personally, I'd give him the season. I want to see how it goes.
Yeah,
Um, I by Christmas we'll definitely have a good idea. So that could have, we might chop and change there. But I think he'll be fine. I think we're gonna. I mean, this is me, knocking on wood here. Everything gonna work out. I think we'll have an uptick in form here as things start to go. We've got some goals starting to go in. What like we said last week, I think once that lid comes off the goal and we can consistently get
yeah,
2, 3, 4 goals, you know, that will probably make things a little bit easier.
yeah. I
So
mean, we're XG shots, touches in the box. I
yeah,
mean, possession one and all this. We're like top right now. We just need these. And Buemo kind of broke that duck a little bit. Shesko is again. This is what happens when you wait too long to sign your players. They take a little
yeah,
longer to click. And Cunha's looking good already. No
hmm,
coincidence. He signed in June. Like it's not rocket science. I'm not a
yeah,
freaking football expert. I'm just a guy with a pair of eyes and half a brain. It's not that difficult. I don't know why Ineos best in class couldn't see that, but it is. I mean, at least just learn from the other mistakes. Like, look back at the correlation at least and be
yeah,
like, oh, they signed players way in the middle of August. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe we should try to do it like mid-July at the latest. Get these guys in for preseason. It's not difficult. These guys,
yeah.
not like these guys' first day in football either. Um,
Sean, we've been telling you, director of football. That's the
I mean,
position you need.
I'm just going to get all the certifications that I possibly can. I got PFSA. I was in a PFSA webinar earlier learning about psychology and recruitment. Apparently, there's this guy. Any Chelsea fans might. His name was Malcolm Harkness, but he was a psychologist who worked for Chelsea. Apparently, he came up with a coding system to measure things like confidence and things in matches. So he would say like, if you took a long range shot, that was like one confidence point, and that was his way of starting to like keep track of the intangible stuff like that you can't really like aggression and stuff and things like that. That was his way to start to kind of find a way to quantify those kind of things. So that was really cool. Um, so Yeah, director of football. I'm trying to do player care officer certification as well right now. And I actually looked into football agent certification as well, to get licensed to do that too, because
Nice.
why not? You just study and you've got to take an exam. It's like a multiple choice exam. It's only 20 questions. It's open book. It's long. You've got to basically the exam is all about FIFA regulations, like all the different bylaws and codes, all that stuff is basically like if this happens, like how much percentage of this and this. I'm like, okay, numbers, you lost me. I'm like that. I mean, but who knows? Just get it all. Just make the CV is just going to be all these certifications, and I'm just like
Mhm.
somebody hire me. So, so you give them to to the end of the season. Just to see how everything plays out. Like if it
Yep.
becomes pretty clear by like December, like you said, like then what happens? Like what is the difference of a couple months going to mean then if it's pretty clear, right?
I mean, if we haven't got a win in a while and we're dead, like in the relegation spots, I think we have to make a change because obviously at that point it's not working. He's
Yeah.
had a year, um, and the message that he's been going for hasn't gotten through. Um, so they have to make a change. There's problem is there's nobody. I don't know who you get to come in.
I have a list. Oh, guys, no matter what, Bruno replacements, January deals, scouting, managers, I have a list. No matter what it is, I've got a list, and it's filled with facts and numbers and percentiles and heat maps. Yeah, I got manager heat maps. I'll show you where the manager walks in the touchline. I got it. Um, I got a list, Dylan. Yeah, there's. I mean, I don't like to think about that kind of stuff. I don't like putting that out there. But it's good to be prepared. Ineos have their
Hmm.
list. They had their list even when they were backing Ten Hag. They were already meeting
Yep.
with people, including Amorim. So it's just being proactive. It's just making sure you're covered. We can't be too sentimental. There's no loyalty. Doesn't mean we can't be loyal, but let's not pretend like there is any loyalty. So,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, again, I don't like to get into an in out manager discussion. You know that. I like to just, if you're backing the manager well and, you know, they're allowed to make their decisions, they've got more players, then either the system breaks down or whatever, and the managers will basically, sack themselves or they'll
Hmm.
get a new contract. I let the manager, like, I don't think you can sack a manager if you haven't fully backed a manager, and that's why I do think Amram, you've been backed, and not just like, hey, we've got some players, we've got rid of a lot of players,
Yep.
high profile players as well, and so there's less excuses, and I will keep saying this is his first and only preseason, and we did do a lot of late signings. We did not get the midfielder that we needed. Really, we need a couple midfielders, and so
Hmm.
if we get a midfielder in January, which I really think we will do, and if not, we absolutely need to. Definitely, especially if we're doing well, you need to keep that momentum going. It's not just a panic like, oh, we're struggling, get that
But
midfielder. No, we should have the
yeah.
midfielder in mind. We should be making moves now, get it over the line in January, keep the momentum going, and push to the end of the season. Otherwise, I just don't see it going well.
But do you think it's going to be Hayden Hackney, Lennon Miller coming in? Who do you think?
I've got my January deals video prepped and ready to go. We got to wait till like pretty much just assume Hayden Hackney is going to be on every single video that I do when it comes to that kind of. Just assume that every video is going to come with a Hayden Hackney. Like it just is what it is. One of these days, I'm gonna reach out to him and I'm gonna be like, dude, Hayden, come jump on the channel, bro. Um, but I won't forget what I was saying. But yeah, we do need a midfielder. We do need that
Definitely.
to happen. We need to not be reactionary. We need to not wait and see what happens. Like I do, and that's what I do think is different with Ineos because it's less what does a manager want and more of this is how we want to play. These are the kind of players that
Hmm.
we want at the club. I do think that the recruitment train is going to continue rolling no matter almost who the manager is, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Kind of like what
Yep.
Liverpool did and things like that. Like you're getting this is the way we want to play as Liverpool. Klopp jump on the train. Klopp got off. Slot came on. We're still playing with a couple little tweaks here and there, but
Hmm.
that's what you can do with a rebuild. And so, Football Freak, welcome back. English mid-table sides are really strong compared to other leagues, so I think Forest can win there in Europe. That's what we said last year. If you looked at the two teams who got to the final, Spurs and United, it was no coincidence. And we said this all throughout the campaign. The English teams are more physical. You could be
Mm-hmm.
bottom half table English side and probably do pretty well in Europe, at least in like Europa League or Conference League.
Yeah.
But again, the moment we get rocked up against the physical side in English football, we struggled because we were no longer the big fish in the little pond kind of a thing. And it's just that was more glaring on the players, right? We just didn't have the profile of the players. Now I think that starting Garnacho and Ugarte could have made a big difference, but it is what it is. We can't look back now. Those are the kind of decisions I say. This is why I don't get in or out, because it's not just because that's what I wanted doesn't mean it was right or wrong. Amorim made the decision. We lost. It's a strike against him, I'm sure, for a lot of people. And so that's little decisions that add up for a while. And so
Yep.
eventually that's going to spill over, and that's time to say goodbye. So Rob thinks we'll be fine once everything gels. Yeah, I think that once the strikers just
Yeah, I
start
do too.
clicking, it's gonna. I think that the way I would set us up on the weekend will probably help with that because I am putting Bruno in one of the 10 spots this weekend. I'm not starting Cunha, especially if he's not fully fit. He'll be on the
Yeah,
bench, but I'm not going to start him. But I think
makes sense.
when we do the preview video later on the week, you guys will see what my 11 looks like because it's going to be pretty interesting. Danny B's out. Big up, Danny. Thanks for stopping by, man. Make sure to check out the
How's it
rest
going,
of it later
Danny?
on. Ivan Tony's been big enough to Saudi League compared to the print. I'm sure he has. Ivan Tony. Yep. You can bet on it. Anyway.
Good one.
Yeah. Let's move on here, shall we? Do you have any final thoughts on that before we get going here?
No.
This might be the coolest name I've seen. Bang Bang Pat for Life says CR7 Portugal Crown. I don't know what that one is. I can't read that far. Fire and glass dildo. Apparently, is what that looks like. I don't know. What is that? I can't tell what
I
that is.
can't tell.
I don't know. Oh, it's a
Smoke.
goat.
I think it's smoke.
One
No,
of those
no.
is a goat. I can't tell.
Yeah, he's the goat. I can't tell what the
What
other one
happens when
is.
you turn 40? Your eyes go. So, but thank you, Bang Bang Pet, for life, for stopping by and making me look old with your emojis. So, talk about a little transfer news real quick, you guys. Make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you subscribe if you are new, you guys. We're on the road to 3K. Let's talk about some of the latest and greatest. Not a ton, but obviously Tyrone Malacia could be following Onana to the Turkish league. This came out the other day that Eyüpspor, that's a lot of letters and P's, have reached an agreement with United for Malacia, and the Malacia was left to decide. Now, I don't know if you've seen anything, but has he made the decision or not yet? This is up to Malacia
I
at this point.
Yeah, I haven't heard. I know everything's agreed between the clubs. I haven't heard if he's accepted.
Couple days left in the Turkish window, so this could go down to the wire. Obviously, imagine deadline day Malacia is the biggest highlight. He's another one. I don't have any personal issues. He has never done anything bad. He's just, to me, just not good enough.
Yeah.
He's 26 now. He's older than a lot of people think he is. He was 23 when we signed him. Again, he looks like he's like 5. He was 3 years when we signed Malacia. He was 3 years older than Dorgu was when he signed him. So people who are comparing him to Dorgu need to get over it because he's 3 years older. But he's just, to me, just not that good. He had the right attitude. I just don't think there was quality to match, unfortunately. And then obviously the injury really derailed him. And like I spoke about in that Luke Shaw what if episode, I don't think people quite realize what long-term injuries do to athletes. I'm not saying that they're special compared to normal people because long-term injuries hurt everybody, but like depression, anxiety, a lot of that stuff. And when you're depressed, it kills your energy, it kills your excitement, it just your focus, all of it. It just zaps you, and think that can have an impact. Of course, it's going to have an impact on your performances.
Yep.
Thoughts on Malacia? Any issues there for you?
I hope he goes. I hope he can restart his career. He just was never good enough. I think he had a good start. Like he had a couple games where he looked halfway decent. But then, yeah, he never really kicked on. And just I think it was too physical for him. I think he was second guessing himself a lot. So yeah, and then like you said, with the injury, really kind of derailed anything that he might have had going for him. So go restart your career, dude, and hopefully kick on. So
He's on a bit of a hefty wage bill. He's on
hmm
75K a week. So about 3.5 mil a year. So between him and Onana, we're going to be saving about 7 million a year
hmm
in wages this season. And if we're not putting some of this money that we're getting this summer from like Garnacho and all this, the money we're saving on Rashford and some of it, and if we're not putting that towards a midfielder in January, then I don't really know. Like it feels like we would have written the season off if that were the case. I
yeah,
don't think necessarily. I mean, everyone in the poll yesterday thought we were going to go big in January for like Baleba or Wharton. I don't know if I'd go that hard. I wouldn't put it past us to go back in for Gallagher or someone like. And this is part of like the video. Like if Wolves are still shit, going in for like João Gomez or something, I wouldn't put it
hmm
past us. Hackney could be another. I've got another young midfielder in my next scouting report. He's playing for West Brom. That could be a good option too. There's options out there. We need to find something. Hackney would be a snip. Send them somebody in exchange on loan or something. I don't know. Do something. Send them Luke Shaw or something. I don't know what to tell you. Um,
yeah.
Banga.
Send him Luke Shaw. That'd be good.
I mean, yeah, send them Luke Shaw. Send them one of the youngsters from the academy on loan.
Yeah.
Send them Scanlon. Send them Biancheri. Send them somebody. One of the Fletchers can go take over for Hackney and see how he does in midfield. And
hmm
it's just, I don't see the issue there. So, man, Easy E, there's a name I haven't heard in a while. Interesting. Um, Big up. So Malacia probably good for him to go. That was one of the things that Ten Hag just didn't quite have right as his talent
Yeah.
identification. It's just the
No.
quality of player just lacking. Licho is probably the best of the bunch personally. Trying to think of everybody we signed in his first season. I did think Ericsson was a good piece of business for us,
Yep.
getting him on a free. So thank you for your
Yep.
dedication over the couple of years.
You're welcome.
Enjoy Wolfsburg, the best of the Bergs. Moving on, let me get Tyro Malacia off the screen here. Did you see this report that came out today from Santi Auna that United apparently made an approach for Malik Fofana, attacker at Olympic Lyon, in the
I did not.
final couple days of the window? Actually, apparently we made a big push for that. We spoke with his father, and George Mendes got involved and tried to facilitate that. And then just
Hmm.
apparently they were waiting for the green light from his father, who's probably a big part of it. He might be his agent. I don't know off the top of my head, but apparently that was the thing. It just didn't happen. We never got, basically just they kept it on red, basically the message there. So I'm not sure what the issue there is. Just leaving it a little late, I think, right? A
Oh
couple
yeah.
days in the window. Let's try to get one of Lyon's best players after they already lost Turkey. I think Lyon early in the window might have been a little bit more receptive to that, considering their financial struggles. But a couple of days left in the window. I mean, what were we doing there? Do you remember Fofana at all from Europa League?
No, no. I just remember watching Cherokee. I was like, we should get him, and then it didn't happen. And I was sad.
And then you're like, I hope somebody mullers him when we play them.
Yeah,
He won't
100%.
be there, so
Yeah.
unfortunately. Yeah, just one of those late deals, kind of like, and some people will say this is PR, like the Conor Gallagher stuff or the Baleva stuff. I mean, again, I don't write it; I just report it with you guys, so you guys can get your thoughts on it. Again, another one of those players probably would have been in like one of the 10 roles or something. We already had Cunha, we already had Mbumo. We do need a little bit of depth probably, but um, interesting stuff. Xerxes back, Mount there, so. He's good. He's a good player, Fofana. I think a lot of people really
hmm
like him, but alas and alack, a little too late. Rob says, unfortunately, apparently Malassia's knee surgery was a botch job, and he wouldn't pass a medical for a permanent deal. Interesting. It's probably why it was so quiet for that
Yeah.
year. So, I mean, our medicals, I don't know what was going on with our physios and all of our injuries that season, but like, it was one of the worst things I've ever seen.
It's that Arsenal deep cover. I mean, we hired the Arsenal team docs, and they just set everything up. That's why. That's why they got rid of him already.
It's just like with Casemiro had misdiagnosed, Licha had they missed part of, like, I don't know, they just not do a X-ray of the whole foot. They just looked at it from one
I
side. Perspective, people.
yeah.
Shaw, obviously, just everything. Just the medical situation. Mount, whoever approved the Mount signing, just should be freaking sacked on the spot.
Hmm.
I wouldn't let them like buy a operation board game, let alone actually give any sort of medical advice. Like, period. Oh boy, Rob says Fafana looks fantastic talent, but we're more in need of a proper midfielder. Now I agree.
Oh, 100%.
I absolutely agree. All right, let's look at these next five fixtures for a second because we've got a bit of a situation popping up in the next couple weeks. If anyone's remembered, we've got statistically the hardest run of matches to start the season, and our next
Yeah.
five are a bit of a shit show in terms. So we got obviously the Derby this weekend, Chelsea at home the following weekend. Now, granted, we get a week in between each match, so that helps. Almost two right there between Sunderland and Liverpool, but Brentford, who could go either way, I'm still not convinced that they're going to be really. I think they might get relegated, as you and I discussed. Sunderland, who look
Yeah.
bright, but I think that Sunderland are trying to make an early punch to stay above bottom before they start to drop off.
Hmm.
I just don't think they have the depth there.
Yeah.
Losing, I mean, they did get Granit Xhaka. I thought Ericsson would have been a good pickup for them as well. But
Yeah.
losing
I did
Joe
too.
Bellingham is rough. And then we get the Scousers towards end of October. Oh boy. And I'll ask your opinion too. So you start thinking, but I asked you guys in the poll, how many points do you think we'll pick up from these next five? And so far it's split between 5 to 8 and 9 to 12. Some of you voted none, 0 to 4. Some of you went 12 to 15. Where do you see us dropping points? Do you see any surprise results here, Dylan?
Um, well, so surprise results. I don't know if this would be a surprise just based on some of the stuff we've seen. Um, I've got us drawing with City this weekend. I could see us winning though at the Etihad because of how many injuries they have. And if we come in ready, raring to go, they're kind of down a little bit, not necessarily, have the same mentality. I could see us getting that. I can also see us losing 4-0. Like it's going to depend on which team wants to show up. That's the hardest part. Are we going to show up or not? Um,
I think the best thing we have going for us is like anytime Holland doesn't get the ball, whether
mhm.
they're just you press him whenever he has the fewest touches, they tend to drop points, and a lot of the players that get Holland the ball are not fit.
Yeah.
Um, so that could be very helpful for us. And I don't know if Holland has enough in him to be able to drop deep, to be able to link up, to be able to be, the facilitator at times, kind of like what we've seen
Mhm.
from Harry Kane over the years. I don't know if he's got that in his locker. So it could be interesting. Go ahead.
Chelsea's going to be tough. I got us losing that one right now, but it's only because they're at home, and
Mm.
I think that's going to be a big part of it. I think we're going to beat Brentford. Sunderland's the one I'm worried about
Yeah, they got you
because
banana skin.
yeah, that's the one I'm like on paper we should win, but as history has shown us, we tend to play down at times to players like teams like this. Um, so I'm really hoping we don't. We should win that one, but I have us marked as a draw right now.
Mm.
Um, just because I'm so afraid they're going to play down. Um, and then Liverpool, we'll see. We'll have Champions League go on at the time. It's away at Anfield. I've got us losing that one. But if they have some, if they're tired, if they're in a bit of a rut, we could get some points out of that. So I've got us 5 to 8 points right now,
Mm.
and that's being like pessimistic. So,
So you think Sunderland can be a bit of a banana skin for us? We might drop points. They do kind of have that Grimsby, that Coventry kind of vibe to them a little bit.
yeah, yeah.
Mm. So I have 9. I have 9 points, and I think that we might finally see back-to-back league wins against Sunderland and Brentford. I do see us dropping points both to the Scousers and Chelsea. We're just not quite there yet. Now
Yeah.
I could be wrong. We could start clicking. I just think even a couple months in, I don't know how it's going to look, but I do see us losing to Chelsea and Liverpool easily, and I do see us beating City. I think we can absolutely beat City, and we'll talk about that more on the
Oh yeah.
preview later on this week. But I do think we finally get back-to-back wins against Sunderland and against Brentford, and we get 9 out of a
Come
possible
on.
15, which honestly going into the hardest start this season. If we beat City, depending on the manner, if we beat City and the performance wise, I could easily change my vote. I might go mad if we beat City and we like destroy City in some way, or we just like play them off the park, and I might just be like, we're getting all 15. Who cares? Fuck it, burn it down.
Yep.
I don't
Yeah,
even care. Rob says Sunderland have signed well. Sunderland have really
they have.
gone hard. They signed 14, 15 players, I think. Both them and Burnley have really
Hmm.
made a strong push. They're really banking on that TV money by staying up. So,
Oh yeah.
and hey, fair play.
I,
I think the goal of any newly promoted team should just be not to get relegated, right?
yep. I'm like I said before. I'm happy the Stadium of Lights back in the Prem. It's been too long to have a stadium like that
Yeah.
not
Now,
be
did I
here.
ask you
So
before if you watched the Sunderland Till I Die Netflix special?
it's on my to-do list.
It's
I've
really good.
wanted to. I've seen the trailers. I'm like, I need to watch this. So
It's really really good, man. It's I watched it when it came out. Oh, probably like years and years and years ago. When it came out, and I thought it was just an excellent documentary. There's a ton of good footy documentaries on Netflix, personally.
hmm
Um, so you've got us at how many points did you say?
I have 5 to 8. Just kind of depends on
Mm.
how we show up for Sunderland.
All right, I had us at 9. I mean,
So
it's big. So, looking at the league in general, so I saw this stat. So, according to the International Center for Sports Studies, in terms of the whole league, United have a 2.6% chance of winning the league this year. 2.6% chance. So, you're telling me there's a chance?
that's right.
2.6. I'll take it. I'll take your
Hmm.
2.6, man. I'll absolutely take your
Hell
2.6.
yeah.
Obviously, we're not going to win the league, but I'll take 2.6. That's better than I thought. What's your prediction this weekend, Dill?
I've got 2-2. I think we're gonna draw.
You think it's going to be a 2-all draw?
Yep.
Okay. Well, it was 2-1 last time, and that was Amorim's first
Hmm.
derby. Now, I read a
That
stat
was his
too that,
first win too,
yeah,
wasn't
that
it? Yeah.
Pep and Amorim have faced each other 5 times, and Pep's only beaten him once. So,
Hmm.
could be interesting little match, especially with the injuries. So I never,
Yes.
obviously you don't want players to be injured. I never feel bad for City though, just out of just principle alone.
Yeah. City, Liverpool. Yeah.
Yeah, I put City in the same bracket as Chelsea, just in terms of just how they got to where they are and stuff. Just
Yeah.
Rob says I got 10 points, 3 wins, 1 draw, and a loss. Where are your points coming from, and where are the lost points coming from? That's what I want to know. So I got us 3 wins, 2 losses, but we will get 2 wins on the bounce, I think, finally. So,
Come on.
um, oh
Can
man, Dylan,
can
go ahead.
no, just can you imagine if, I mean, knock on wood, we win every match. Let's just live in fantasy land.
I can't be
And
held
it's like,
responsible for the shit that I'll say on this channel at that
can you
point.
imagine the kickabout after that? Like we're gonna get canceled.
I won't have, yeah. I will be fully nude. Like it's just gonna
Yeah.
be happening.
You,
I won't be in no
you,
clothes.
yeah, you and I are just gonna be like, I fucking told you.
Told my wife next time we win the league, if we win the league, I'm getting this badge tattooed right here on my
Mhm.
chest. I will literally do the stream with no shirt on to show that that's happened if that
Yeah.
happens. So y'all can hold me to that. She was like, "No, you're not," and I'm like, "Woman, it's my money. I'll do what I want." Um, like I'm doing, I just means I got to start doing more push-ups because it just looks weird otherwise. But um, maybe I'll do like body paint or something when if we win the league or something. We'll do crazy stuff, man. It's gonna be crazy. So Rob says we're gonna lose the Scousers. We're gonna draw with Chelsea. So he's actually saying we're gonna draw, which we're gonna not. Okay, all right, all right, all right. I just yeah, I want Garnacho to play, and I want him to get just two-footed.
Oh yeah. I want Ugarte to come in and 2 foot him too.
Do you think that Maresca would start him to try to prove a point, or do you think that he would kind of keep him off and bring him on as a sub?
I think he'll bring him on as a sub. I don't think Maresca really cares.
Yeah.
about that. I think he's going to do what's best for the team. So
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, the top bully pretty much just decides who stays and who goes, apparently. So
true.
it is what it is. But
Well,
any,
knowing this, they're going to sell him for like 70 million next year.
that's
So
cool. We'll get some
yeah,
more back for that. That's
we get
fine.
35 million for that, right? Or no, was it
No,
10%? Never mind.
it's 10% of profit, I want to say.
Oh, okay.
Someone remind
So
me.
yeah,
Sometimes it's fee, sometimes it's profit. So if they sell them for 70, we would get like a certain amount from the profit. I don't know. It's who can keep track anymore at this shit.
yeah.
So any final thoughts on anything we discussed? Anything that we didn't discuss that you want to throw out there?
No, I think we got it, man. I'm ready
Yeah.
to get back in the club season here. I'm done with the international break. So
Yeah, Sunday. Where you gonna be gone Sunday, aren't you?
yeah, I'll be driving probably when that's on. So
Yikes.
I'm gonna have it on in the car.
There you go. Just as long as you don't put it on the phone and watch it on the phone.
Nope,
Pull over and
radio will be
watch it.
going. Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, but that's it for us, you guys. If you guys weren't able to catch the live, leave your comments. Let us know what you think about Premier League Hall of Fame. What do you think about ruthlessness in this clear out? Could this come back to bite Amorim? How long would you give Amorim? What do you see happening for these next 5 fixtures? How many points do you think we'll get? Where do you think we'll drop points? Could you see any banana skins like Dylan put out there with Sunderland? I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your feelings. I want to know your dreams and your hopes. Let me know. But most importantly, what I want you to do is like and subscribe to the video and the channel, respectively, because we're on the road to 3K. I think we can get there with you guys' help. Check those memberships as well. Check out the UVE store. Tons of new designs in there. A lot this Fergie time mug. This thing is awesome. Love it. There's mugs in there. There's hats. There's hoodies. There's everything. You guys go check them all out. And then, yeah, Dylan, enjoy the rest of your week, man. I'm sure I'll be chatting with you. I got busy next couple of days of clients and whatnot, but you guys know we're always grinding, putting together stuff for everybody, and obviously we'll be back with any of the news as it breaks. But Dylan, got a couple days of school this week, right? And then you're out of here.
Then traveling up north.
There you go. How long of a drive is that again?
About 4 hours.
Ugh,
So
gross. I just drove a half hour to go get food and drove a half hour back, and I'm like, ugh, I hate this.
yeah.
I don't go many places, so it's what it is. So, all right, guys. Thank you guys for stopping by. Everyone for getting in the chat. I love to get you guys' thoughts. So take it easy, and we will see you guys on the match preview show. Probably Friday. We'll see. But keep a lookout. You guys know. Make sure that bell is hit so you don't miss out on anything. Take it easy. Enjoy your night.
Have a good night, everybody.